Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Gerel Matta. Today we're going to be doing a makeup tutorial using all drugstore products. Not just any drugstore products, the products that I cannot be without, that are always in my collection, that will always be in my collection because they are that good. So if anybody asks me, hey, do you know of an affordable foundation, concealer, blush, bronzer, these are always the products that I will always recommend because they are really amazing. So yes, let's go ahead and get on it. But before we start the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. You can also click on the little bell so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video, which is every single week. And yeah, without further ado, let's get on to the video. The first thing that I'm going to do is start with my eyes. Now, hands down, the best eyeshadows that I've actually found that work really well for me are from two different brands. Now, the first brand is the Milani eyeshadows. These ones are called the Bold Obsessions and the Most Loved Mattes. The Most Loved Mattes looks like this. So just in case you haven't seen it, these are all matte shadows, which is amazing because that's exactly what you need in your collection. And these ones right here are the Bold Obsessions, which look at them, they are so beautiful. So it does come with a mirror. So the only thing is that they are actually a little bit more pricey for drugstores. They are $20 each, but they are totally worth it. Now, if you want to go a little bit more on the lower end, or if you just started with makeup and you actually want to see how you do with the eyeshadows and you really don't want to invest too much money on eyeshadows, but you still want that quality, I will totally recommend the Wet n Wild. These two palettes right here are amazing. So this one right here is definitely a great one. This one is called Rose in the Air, and they are just so beautiful and they blend so nicely, and they're very nice and easy to work with. Now the other one is called Not a Basic Peach, and this one is a great one too, especially if you are into colors, or if you're just traveling yourself into colors and you are feeling a little bit more daring, more adventurous with your makeup, and you actually would just want to have that little pop of color. This palette is so good as well. So yeah, very much affordable. Now that I have you in a little bit closer, I'm going to prime my eyes, and the first thing that I actually like to use is a concealer, just because the concealer is going to just correct any kind of discoloration that I have on my eyelid, and it's going to create a really nice canvas, and it also a sticky base, so any colors that you actually put on top of it is going to stick to it, and that is the reason why I love doing this thing. The best concealer for me, for my needs, for my coverage, just because I do like to have really nice full coverage under my eyes and as well as on my eyelids. So this one is definitely the best for me and my number one recommendation, and this is the Maybelline Age Rewind. This is in the shade Neutralizer, just because it actually has a really nice yellow tone base to it, which I love so much. So that is exactly what I'm going to be putting on my eyes, just to cancel any redness. So using my Sigma brush in P88, I'm going to just stamp this shade into my lid. So I'm going to grab into this shade right here, which is called Sweet as Honey, and I'm going to use it on a fluffy brush. I'm going to use my Sigma E40 brush. Now, none of these brushes that I'm using today are actually affordable. Some might be. I will link all the brushes that I'm using today, just in case you are wondering. I do have an affiliated code with Sigma, which is my name, Gerel, and I do have a link down below. So I'm just adding this color to the outer part of my eyelid, as well as just blending it into the crease. Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. And this color is like perfect transition shade. All right, now going into red between the lines, this one right here, I'm going to go into a Sigma E25 brush, and I'm going to just place that on the outer part of my eye and just working it a little bit lower than the first shade that we actually placed. And I'm just standing it out. Always going back with the first brush and just blending those two shades together. So whatever is left on that brush, I'm just going to drag it inside, not going all the way in, just going a third of the way. And these colors are blending together so nicely and they have so much pigment. I love these eyeshadows. Milani did such a great job. Like, look, and there's barely any fallout, if any. So it's just so good. There's not a lot of kickback in the palette as well, so you are not wasting any product, and this is just so very nice. You just have to build the color to the intensity that you like. So using Goal Getter, which is this one right here, I'm just going to grab it on a flat brush. So I'm going to grab that shade on a flat brush, adding this shade in the inner part of our eye. But look how buttery is applying. It is so beautiful. So I don't like to keep the color low. I actually like to bring it high up like I did in this one, just because I feel like it's more flattering, and even if you're looking straight, you're actually going to appreciate all the work that you've actually done. So that is the reason why I like to do that. And I feel like it gives you like a cut crease kind of effect without actually doing a cut crease. Alright, now this color is already intense as it is, and I do love it, but just to make sure that it actually stays in place, even though we do have the concealer underneath, I'm going to go into my setting spray. So I'm just going to add the color into the brush, and then I'm going to go into my setting spray, which is also by Milani. This one is called Make It Last, and I'm just going to spray the brush and just wet it a little bit, and it just becomes like liquid gold. So good. Look at that. So I'm going to add a little bit of this shade with the other side of my brush. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of it, and I'm just going to connect those right where the gold and the red shade that we have, just so we can give it some dimension. I'm cleaning out the brush. You can use a napkin and just try to get all the color out, just so it can be nice and clean, and that way you can just go back and just use little zigzag motions to blend those two together. So you don't know when the gold starts or the red starts. Alright, so I'm going to go into that brown shade, which is called Brunette Have Fun, and I'm just going to dab it in the very outer corner of my eye and just stand it out. And just keep it in this little corner. Now going back to the red shade, I'm just going to, just because I feel like we've actually lost some right here, and I'm just going to dab it again. Just build on that shade one more time. So going in with this brush right here, which is a very flat, thin brush, I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is called Little Black Dress, and I'm going to grab it and I'm just going to damp it right by our lash line. like so. All right, so this is what we have so far. Now I'm going to coat my lashes, and so there's definitely two mascaras that I will always recommend. One is definitely the L'Oreal Carbon Black mascara, which I ran out of and I have to pick up another one, and the other one is this one, which is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara, and this one is in super black. And yeah, I just opened this one up because I was using this one right here by CoverGirl, and it's not my favorite. All right, so I'm just going to coat my lashes. So the lashes that I'm going to be using is this ones right here that I got from my BoxyCharm, and they're the House of Lashes. They are so good and so easy to actually just place, and I really like them a lot, especially for like a natural kind of look. I know it's like natural look, yes, but it is natural look because they're not super dramatic. They are called the Demure Lights, and I will link them down below just in case you are interested in checking them out. I think from what I got in the BoxyCharm, it was like from $9 to $12, so it's going to vary from that price. I think they are on sale right now, that's why they are at that price. And you can reuse it so many times if you actually take care of your lashes, and you can reuse any lashes if you take care of your lashes. So yeah, I'm going to pop those bad boys on, as well as do my brows. I do not have a pencil for my brows, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to show you exactly the other product that I do like to set my brows in place. Okay, so I went ahead and just finished out the brows, and I'm going to be using this primer right here, which is my favorite, absolute favorite. This is the NYX Veil primer. It's just so good, especially if you are oily to combination just like me. It keeps my oils at bay, and it also helps me for my foundation to actually last a lot longer than normal. So this is so good. I love this primer so much. Okay, so now that we're done with the primer, I'm going to apply foundation. Now the best foundation for me personally, the one that I always recommend, just because it has really nice coverage, beautiful finish, and it just lasts very long on your skin, is the True Match by L'Oreal. My sister actually was done with her foundation and she wanted to buy a high-end foundation, so I did mention to her that I do love the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation. So I also mentioned to her that this one is also my favorite, and she could just find it like in her nearest Walgreens, Walmart, Target, CVS, or any of those stores, and she went ahead and just bought it, and she loves it very much. It gives her such a nice coverage, and it's not like cakey, it's so good, and she is more on the drier. Just so you know, this is a good one, even if you are on the little drier side. The only thing about this foundation that I don't like is that it doesn't have a pump. That's my only thing that I wish that it actually did have a pump. And this one is in the shade W6. So I'm going to be using the new Sigma brush, which is the F80 Air.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to live.
Alright, so now that that's in place, I'm going to go and apply the concealer. Same concealer that I use, is going to be a little bit light, but we'll make it work. And using a sponge, I'm just going to blend that into my skin. Alright, so now for setting my face, I'm going to be using the Fit Me by Maybelline. This is an amazing powder. And I didn't mind the concealer being so light because this does have a little bit of color, and this one is in the shade 20 Medium. And this is the Sigma 3D sponge. And I'm setting my whole entire face with this powder. Alright, to set my brows into place, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal, and this is what the brush looks like. I actually need to purchase another one because this one is already too old, but I'm going to use it. This will be my last time. I definitely need to purchase, so I need to do a couple of repurchases definitely in this video for mascara and now my L'Oreal. So I'm going just to use this to set my brows in place, and this is so good, even if you do not have time like to do your brows. So you can just use this by itself. I love this thing right here. So good. All right, now I'm going to finish up the lower lashes. I'm just going to point at the colors for you, and yeah, and then we'll go back to the face.
Just like a spark that's breaking out, can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise.
Alright, now the top bronzer that I can definitely recommend hands down is this one by L'Oreal. This one is the True Match Lumi Bronzed. This is such a good bronzer. I love it so much. So that is exactly what I'm going to be using in this tutorial, just because I love it so much. But I do want to recommend two other ones. This one right here by Physicians Formula, which is the Butter Bronzer. If you like tropical pineapple kind of scent, definitely try this one because the smell is so good, and it is a matte bronzer, and it's really good to just contour. So I'm going to use a little bit of this shade as well, just to like chisel out my cheeks, and then I will put the L'Oreal on top of it. But the other one, you know, just in case you are looking for something that it's all in three, definitely give this one a try because it is really good. So yeah, I will link all the products that I've mentioned down below just in case you are interested in finding them. I mean, I bought them in different places, but I will link them down below just in case and make it easier for you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just chisel out my cheeks. So I'm going in with a smaller brush just so I can be a little bit more specific on to where I actually want the bronzer to be, and to give me a little bit more of a chisel look. Alright, and just to blend that in and also to give myself a little bit more color, I'm going to go into the Lumi Bronzed. And I actually purchased that one at Walmart. I haven't been able to find it anywhere else, which is so weird. Because it's so good. And just to blend everything together, I'm just gonna go back with my sponge. So for highlighter, I'm going to be using this one by Wet n Wild. Hands down, the best highlighter in the drugstore, like for me in particular. It's so good. So I like to do my bronzer, highlighter, and then blush. That's usually how I do it. Sometimes it doesn't work out like that, but that is what I try to do the most. So check out this highlighter. And that's just beautiful. I mean, look at that. And it's so soft and it looks so good on the skin. It looks like it looks really nice and glowy. Oh, I love this highlighter so much. So I do have two blushes, of course, and this one right here is the Wet n Wild Apricot in the middle, and this one is the one that I actually used on my last tutorial. This is so beautiful. I love it. But the one that we're going to be using today is this one right here. I love this one. This one is by Flower Beauty, and this one is in the shade Peach Primrose, and I love it. I also liked the blushes from Burt's Bees. Oh, those are so good as well, but I cannot put all the blushes here. I mean, it would just be crazy. So we're going to be using this one right here. So I do have a really good selection of like drugstore blushes. I think they are so good, and especially the ones also from L'Oreal, the ones that just came out, the scented one, the peachy ones, those are so good as well. So you do have really good blushes in the drugstore that you can find, L'Oreal, Flower Beauty, but those two right here, Wet n Wild, is the most inexpensive one, and it's so good. So Primrose. So to set everything in place, I've been using the Milani Make It Last, and it smells so good. Alright, for lips, I'm going to go into this ColourPop one right here, and this one is Aquarius. So for lips, I'm going to go into this NYX, and this one is a soft matte lip cream. They are so good and very comfortable.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn.
Just to fix it a little bit around, I'm going to go with the ColourPop, and this one is in the shade Taurus.
We got this far, don't know how.
This is the final look. So yeah, that is it for the look. That is it for the tutorial. I hope that this was actually helpful to you, especially if you were on the hunt for like a blush, bronzer, something that I used today that it actually helps you. I know that there is so much makeup everywhere. Sephora, Ulta, Walgreens, Target, so many things, so many options, and sometimes we can get overwhelmed and we do not know if it's actually good or not. So yeah, I hope that this actually helps you in making a decision whether you decide to get something new for your collection or just for your everyday wear. This palette is so good. You can create so many looks using this palette by going like this, very glam, very smoky, very neutral, very everyday. So this palette has all of the mattes and the transition shades that you actually need. This is a very good palette. And yeah, and everything else, of course, they are totally my favorite, and they are some things that I just need in my collection. They need to stay in my collection. They are part of my life. So yeah, definitely recommend all the products that I used today. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you next time. Bye.